Okay, so I'm Van Stone here, I'm Face Behind the Voice. Welcome to Philly Live, and this is a special edition podcast. Our first, I would say, it's like a documentary with Veronica Brinkley from the neighborhood in West Philadelphia, which is called West Park, and it also ties in with a lot of historic neighborhoods or entities or playgrounds. One such is the Lee Cultural Center. Two, you may have known as AKA the Lee Playground. And also there's a lot of things that has happened. Many famous people from West Philadelphia has been at that Lee Playground and also a part of West Park, such as many people probably have heard of Sonny Hill, who did not live far from West Park, 46 and Market. Sonny Hill is basically like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 blocks away, where Sonny Hill had a center out of his home. So you have to Google search and they can, you know, look that up and see how that ties in. Why this is so important, what happened, where you been. We're going to try to give a title to this. we create it as we go. Where you been, Ronnie, because it's for nickname Ronnie.
Again, I had to take the back seat.
Okay, but we're going to pick right up where you left off. So if they missed the last show, they have to go back, because we're going to pick off where you telling us exactly, going into your sisters, your mom, and then what you wanted to say with your dad in the home. At this point, your father, and you can explain that, because it says you don't like to use the word passing. Let's start from there. You don't like that word. Let's start from there.
Well, I say because my father, on his own terms, he was tired. He was getting tired of the radiation and the chemo.
Okay.
And so he made a conscious decision to stop all treatments. His only wish was to be, he didn't want to be around no strangers. He wanted to be home whenever this happened, and live whatever days he had left. Now, before then, our father wasn't in bad shape, as Camille would like to put it out there, that he was messing on himself. But anyway, my father never trusted her, in which Camille, again, she's always had this jealousy for me. And
of course, Camille is one of your sisters. And you have 4 sisters.
I have 4. No, actually, well, it's 4 of us, and me makes 5, yes.
Yes, okay. And your father, we never mentioned his name for clarity on part 2. So what was
Wayne Marshall.
Name? Wayne Marshall? Okay. All right, so go on. I just want to, at least give him that respect as we do.
Okay.
Right.
And so he never trusted her, and like towards the time of, I guess, the family felt as though, it's getting closer to that time where they tried to turn him against me.
Wow.
And which that actually worked for a little bit. Because my dad, we had went through something in our house. It was a little argument, but someone had convinced him, playing on his head, to get a restraining order and to put me out of the home.
Wow. And they took advantage of his medical situation.
Yes.
Just for the listeners who are coming in this part, I will remind them, it was mentioned in the first part, he had a terrible injury, and then this was led to, which would change his mental health. Sometimes he would be in the home when you were the caretaker and maybe step out to go run an errand, you come back, whatever.
My father was driving on his own, and he made a hell of a comeback.
Yeah, he came back to that point, but somewhere in the period where he had to adjust.
Cancer, I admired that, in which at his funeral I wrote something, because it was a whole bunch of mix-up over this money that Camille had everybody turned on one another.
Right.
And again, I have to live with the guilt and the grief still of how our father left here. And so when you say passing, I don't believe that was a passing. I believe that was unaliving.
Okay.
And I'll get to that.
Yeah.
What Camille actually did and how she used me, because she knew that I always felt unloved. Excuse me.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that like I'm this perfect person.
Right.
But anybody that knows me knows I have a heart of gold. I would do anything within my means if it wasn't hindering me.
Right.
Camille, in order to get next to our father, Camille played on my intelligence and my heart.
Okay.
After they got me out of the house, she had no way of getting a hold of him still. And even though my father, I know he started to realize that he was set up.
Okay. So while you were taking care of him,
He was set up.
then he was still alive, of course, and they managed to get you out of the house
Right.
through taking advantage of his mental health. Because
Right.
usually at that
They was
time,
taking advantage of his
I'm
mental
just
health.
going along and make sure the viewers understand what you're saying. So, okay. And that's how you end up no longer in the house.
Right.
Got you.
Right.
Where Dad was going along with this and Camille was taking the lead.
Yeah. Well, Camille didn't get that lead,
Okay.
and I gave her that lead.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Right.
I was staying in a house on 60th and Spruce,
Okay.
and it was bad off, you know. And my dad was like to the point wanting me to come back.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
What Camille did is she would come see me every day and claiming like, you know, we're getting older. It's time that we start strengthening our relationship. You know, we getting ready to hit our 50s and just to, you know, get closer to me. Now, it was never said to me that she was doing this to get closer to our father. She knew my heart and how family orientated I am. So she played on that and she used that.
Okay.
And I convinced my father by her coming to see me every day and things of that nature that she changed. You could trust her.
Wow. Okay.
So it was the minute, you know, I was letting my dad know that she was coming up, and I started hanging out with him.
Okay.
And whatever she was feeding him or telling him, now she's turning it on me for him to.
Correct. To go.
She's a hell of a manipulator.
Okay.
And between her and my brother, which is Terrell Marshall,
Okay.
I convinced our father, because by him being sick and no one's in the home with him, the kind of screen door or outside door that he had was like, it's gonna be hard for you to get to him.
Okay.
And so after a while, I had convinced him to give Camille a key.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So if, you know, because they started hanging out.
Right.
And again, once the minute I convinced him to give her a key, so, you know, if it gets too bad, you know, somebody can get in there to you.
Right. Okay.
And right after the key was given to her, she stopped taking my calls. She convinced my father, whatever, she convinced him. At times I'm trying to catch him on the phone and he was going off on me. Ronnie, they said you ain't nothing but trouble. Don't be calling me with all of that. And I was hurt, you know. I'm like, Dad, what are you talking about? Like, I just want to have as much time as I can have.
Right.
And plus, before the greed and all of that stepped in the way, that's what I had.
Right.
And so, the minute I did that, again, she convinced him, whatever she wanted to convince him about me. And she stopped taking my phone calls.
Okay.
Between her and my brother, I'm gonna just jump right into this.
And your brother's younger or older?
Yes, he's younger.
Okay.
He's younger. And between him and her, did not like him. But she played the part. So, you know,
Right.
yeah. And so with the two, I call them bird brains, because, you know, you want to take your father out over some money, you know.
Let me ask you a question while you're right there. This is very important. This money issue, how did they know, the family,
I'm about to tell you.
that there would be a money issue?
I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
As of now, and this is why I said my father didn't leave here on his own, and he wasn't that bad off.
Okay.
She played on his, because she know he had a plate. Everybody knew that.
Right. Okay.
You know, if my dad
Plate in his head.
was to go out and kill somebody, rather he meant to do it or was by accident, he would have never ever stood one day in court, because as it stood in black and white, he was incompetent.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's what she played on.
Okay.
So between her and Terrell, convinced him, while she wasn't taking my calls anymore, she convinced him that he needed a surgery. Now, mind you, he was done. He didn't want to deal with none of that. But this was their too slick way as to getting him out of the house.
Okay.
To convince him that if he had this surgery, it would save his life.
Wow.
And at the time, I was in a relationship that wasn't treating me good. But when it comes to my father, like, I mean business, I stand on business.
Right. I understand that.
And I called him up because I had got word that he was in the hospital. And again, she wasn't taking my calls. I wasn't doing too good financially. I was staying in this house based to everything that they did to get me out.
Right. Okay.
And I cursed the guy out that I was dealing with, and I let him know, you better get me up to that hospital, and now, or I burn this house down.
Okay.
And which he did. And when I got up there, my father was so nervous and he was stuttering.
Wow. Okay.
He didn't want to have no surgery. He said, Ronnie, I said, what's going on here? You know, he said, you know, I don't want to be in these hospitals no more. And I said, yeah, I know that. So what's going on? Why are you here? She was there. Terrell wasn't at the time, I don't think, but she was in the room. And he was looking at me and saying, like, her and I guess his son.
Arranged some kind of way.
They said that he was stuttering and he was shaking. They said that if I had this surgery, it's going to save my life. I said, who told you that, Daddy? And he said, Camille. And she was like pulling me outside of the room, the hospital room, and lying to me again. She's telling me I had to lie to him.
Wow.
Because he got bad off riding. He was messing on himself. This, that, and the other. That wasn't the case.
Okay.
That wasn't the case at all.
And that would lead to him needing an operation.
Excuse me. Well,
according to her,
the whole plan was to get him out of the house. This is how Camille and Terrell, whatever my father left for me, I didn't know what he left. But whatever he left, that was the way of getting him out of his own home. He never knew that Terrell and Camille entered into his home while he was in the hospital.
Okay.
They searched it and, tore everything apart, tore this room apart. Trying to find anything that's valuable, which they stumbled across these life insurance policies.
Oh, now we get into the money part. Okay, that's what I wanted to understand.
And
wow.
Yeah, I guess for me, again,
so he had life insurance, which
I guess whatever he put in my name, I didn't convince him. I didn't know
but
nothing.
it was a policy, and you were
a few policies.
But you were a part of a main thing with the policies. That
Yes.
In the case of his death, then the benefit.
He always told me because of me giving up my home.
Right.
He said.
So now it's starting to make sense to the podcast and why you might. Well, we're saying allegedly. He was unalive, your father, and dealing with your family. I'm just saying for purposes of
she knew
reporting,
that by him having cancer the first time, which was prostate, and we thought we beat it, which it came back even stronger and attacked his lungs.
I understand.
So she knew that if they did a surgery, that was going to open up, and spread more.
I understand that. But however, not to their knowledge, just to clarify this, so the viewers and listeners understand.
They got a hold of these policies.
No, before that, they were unaware that Dad had a policy and it had something to do with you.
When they tricked him to leave his home to get him in the hospital.
Correct.
They went and they had no intentions bringing him back home.
I understand, but the discovery was that you were involved with the insurance.
I guess she was trying to change it up because,
I'm just trying to get the main point across that they were unaware there was an insurance policy.
Yes, they were aware. I wasn't aware.
Oh. So they were aware, and you wasn't aware.
I wasn't.
But he picked you to
and here comes jealous Camille again.
Right. Now I just want to make sure for the viewers and listeners to understand why is this important. What is she saying in the podcast? Okay, so that was and family. Well, you don't. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a powerful word now.
Well, I don't even like.
I understand that.
Since going through what I have been through.
I understand.
I'm doing this out of respect because I didn't want you, but I don't even like calling them family. I now call the person that
the person.
The person that brought me here. I now call her birth breeder.
Okay.
And that hurts me, Van, to talk in that sense.
I understand though.
Because I'm big on people. I'm big on life. My heart is huge.
Right.
And so it was huge enough that, again, she didn't ask me. She knew what I was going to do as far as making that connection with her and our father.
Correct.
And again, the minute I did that, I was considered this, that, and the other, which they got a hold of this. And I distinctly remember leaving that hospital that day. And Sneaky is a man that used to come around my father all the time. And my father called them family, but they're not actually blood related. Okay. And that's the Matthews, which you got Craig, Connie, and of course you know that Miss Faye had passed away, which was their mother. And
that's what I was talking about earlier in the previous first one.
She has a brother named William.
Right.
Now, William would come around my father all the time, and his brothers, my father's brother, was a little jealous of their relationship because they felt like William was playing on his head. Right. And in actuality, what I saw, I believe it, because as I was leaving the hospital that day, I was going down the hall to get on the L, and here come William running up, saying, Camille, passing her these papers. Get him to sign this before he goes in. Okay, wow. And so, you talk about a little criminal organization going on, This money really got to all of them. Right. But you rather have me unalive too, so you could get away with forging my name onto documents and everybody playing a part in this. Okay.
May I ask you a question? The amount of money.
I can't tell you, but I could tell you it's a substantial amount to make 7-8 people tripping out.
Right. Okay.
And it's a substantial amount Well, you paying people to do things.
Correct. Okay, I understand. And I'm just asking that because, you know, even whether it's a large amount or not, it's just shocking that what people would do, what you're saying, and the amount to them is always even bigger than what a substantial may mean, and then they'll be willing to do anything
For it.
Yes, even alive someone. So I just was bringing that part out.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
My father, after this surgery, he went into a coma.
Oh boy.
And he didn't come out of this coma till a month later.
Okay.
And when he came out of the coma, where I was staying at wasn't, again, up to par. And they were purposely trying to keep me at a certain level.
Okay.
So I could crash out, or, you know, they put the isolation on me and started trash talking my character to everybody. I had lost a lot of people I thought were friends.
Right, I understand now.
Over this money.
Okay. Which no one got their hands on yet.
Oh, they got their hands on it. They got their hands on it. They've been forging documents in my name to, yeah.
So they were able to get their hands on it.
In fact, this was what made me push forward when they got my neighbors to attack me. And before then, they was taking my little innocent hangout and trying to make people think that Ronnie is a drunk. Ronnie's crazy. All these different things to defame my character.
Rumors, right.
That's defamation of character, in which they were slandering me left and right. When I got up there, again, his son was with him. And the way that my brother was sitting, he never saw me coming, but my father saw me coming. And whatever kind of medication they had him on, again, I had to talk him into taking this medication, because I guess while he was in a coma, he could hear everything, but he couldn't. They kept him so doped up, he couldn't respond.
Okay.
But when I got up there, you know how they have them tubes in your nose?
Right.
I guess it was dry right there, and he kept pulling it out. But I walked up on our brother, like, cursing at him, using profanity. Don't take it out your fucking nose, excuse my French.
Okay.
Don't take it out your fucking nose again, or you watch what the fuck I do to you. And I walked up like, what the hell are you talking? If you ever talk to my father like that, he's shocked. He didn't know I was coming.
Right.
And he's like, no, he kept pulling the thing. I said, if it's hurting him. He could pull it out, and then you could put some Vaseline on it. What the hell are you talking to him like that for?
Right. I want to ask you a question within the next 3 minutes, okay? And we're probably going to conclude this part.
Okay, if you want to stop here, we could stop here.
Yeah, because then you can always come back and we continue. But this, in the next 3 minutes, I think, and it'd be a good cliffhanger. That's what they call it, you know, so they can look forward to come back and want to find out what happened next. We know now, you're just explaining the behaviors.
Yeah, I had to sell my home, just to get away from everything, from police officers not answering my 911 calls.
Okay.
Put my house down there as a nuisance house, so that.
Okay. Well, let me, I think this will be a good time in the next 3 minutes. And welcome back, Jerry. Welcome back to the show.
And let me just say this.
Yes.
And before we end it, because all of these things ties into it.
Yes.
The job that I was working, and because he knew Camille, I guess, they stole my identity, bought cars in my name. Down to which we come into 6026 Osage, that was right next door to me, a woman named Talia. And her, I guess, old man, whatever you want to call him, which is named Raheem, was still in my mail. And along with, between Camille and Terrell, they was misdirecting my mail, so certain important mail would never come to me. But we can cut it for now.
Well, we're not going to just cut it. We got 3 minutes, and the way to conclude it, I got you. That's why you're here.
Well, he attacked me, and all of them, her whole family stood outside.
Who attacked you? Your brother?
The neighbor.
Oh, the neighbor.
That they got to join in this little...
Physically?
Yeah. Physically. He pushed me to the ground, which bust the back of my head.
Wow.
The jewelry that I had on, was some jewelry that I got married, so that was important to me. The chain was broke, the earring was lost. And I realized as I'm getting ready to get up off of this ground and try to defend myself, his girlfriend, which is Talia, her daughter, her aunt, and all of them weak individuals trying to jump this one person. So whatever they was paid or told to do to me, they were, in on all of this. Down to him stealing my identity as well. Because we got to the point I had to save myself and get myself away from all of this.
Which was better to regroup in violence. And we know better. We come from the projects, so we don't have to really throw that out there as what that really means. We come from the era of gangs, and we both but
from my birth breeder, which is Yvonne Brinkley, along with her daughter Yvonne Brinkley, along with Luana Brinkley, along with Melissa Brinkley. All of these greedy, I don't have no nice words for them.
I understand.
None. But accountability needs to happen.
Well, in the next I'm still trying to do 3 minutes, because I think you need to answer this, and then maybe Jerry might have something to say in the 3 minutes. It's going to be powerful. Watch this. So, what I do know of you sisters and mom, growing up in West Park, in the household, mostly that I understand, and I don't know about this brother, so...
It's my father's by another woman.
And so this is why this is going to be good for you to talk about this and conclude in the next 3 minutes, but then we'll lead to the next part. So you young ladies basically were raised in the household most of the time.
We had to share one room, 5 girls.
That's what I think.
It was never no privacy.
And
Dad had his house, which was on 62nd and Osage.
Can you mention that part, which would make sense, and within the next 3 minutes, how you girls had to share in the projects?
Because my mother didn't have a boy, that's why we didn't get the extra room. They felt as though, because we were all females, we have the same, sex.
So all the girls were in one bedroom. And
my mom had my mom had 2 sets of bunk beds in our room and 1 single bed. We all had our own bed, but we just had to,
but that's not that big. Remember, we both grew up in the project, so I know the bedrooms are all the same size, how they designed them. So in 1 minute, give me a little bit more information about that, because you're talking about your father who wasn't there, and how you still had love for him. You managed to hold on to that through all this. Give us that part, growing up as children in one room.
It was
with these sisters, with mom, and dad's not there. That would be good. And then Jerry, if you have a question or whatever, then we can wrap it up.
It was hard because, again, my father was like a pop-up kind of man, and he drank a lot. and along with the drinking, he was very abusive. So we didn't come up in normal circumstances like most families.
Right, but the girls in the one room.
We
Can you concentrate on that? Because we got like 1 minute, then we're going to go when we come back another time.
Yes, we were all in that one room.
What's that like?
Having no privacy.
5 girls.
5 girls.
In one
I
bedroom.
got teased a lot because I wet the bed late.
Wow.
I'm not ashamed of it.
Wow. Okay.
So they would always take it outside, call me PP Ronnie.
Wow. Wow. I'm looking at you because you got a little story, family story. We don't have time, but you can relate.
Well, yeah, I think
So-
we all have.
That's why I wanted to bring him in the conclusion, so because I know his story
So I can't.
and mine too. But
Okay.
we just in 1 minute in the
Yeah,
conclusion.
I can't even
just-
really. But I think we all have.
so she can understand and appreciate that.
Yeah, we all have
And she wasn't alone.
adverse experiences as children. You know, I had situations in dealing with. You know, my mother raised us. It's 3 of us.
Okay.
And you know, she raised us, of course, the best she could.
Okay.
But you know, there were things, of course, that happened with not having my dad around, and there were things that happened, you know, with my dad who's no longer with us.
Right.
But I got a whole story too. We could say. I'll be sitting right there with the claw crying too. So believe me, I get it and I understand. But the thing that I would ask you is, and maybe you can answer this another time.
Okay.
But you seem like a really nice person, and my thing would be, how did the adverse experiences as a child shape the way you are as an adult?
I guess because, well, I consider I didn't have any self-esteem. Along with wetting the bed late, I was a very, very skinny child. Whereas they used to go from my ankle all the way up to my thigh with one hand. Wow. And so it was all nobody really ever called me Ronnie or Veronica. And my aunts and them, they didn't know no better that they was killing my self-esteem because of the nicknames everybody always had. Boneyard, come here. Okay. Skinny Minnie, 6 o'clock, straight up and down.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, well, like I tell people,
and so I had to grow into this shape. Well, no.
Wow.
I had to grow into my looks.
Wow.
I was actually told when I turned 18, I remember one person I ran into, which happened to be my Hardy's brother, his twin brother, because we went to school at Sarah together.
Okay.
But my Hardy's father used to own a bar which was called BT's, which was on 46 and Chestnut.
Right. I understand. I know what that's at.
And even though none of us was supposed to be in no bars back then, but we was sneaking and going into the bar scene.
Right.
And I ran into Bernard. And so things was actually said to me, you know, well, he's just like, he was shocked to see me and how I looked today. Right. And what he actually said to me was so damn right disrespectful and hurtful. But what he said was he couldn't get over looking at me like he looking at some celebrity or something.
Okay.
And he's like, oh my God. And I'm like looking at him all freaked out, like, what you talking about? Oh my God. So he was like, he said, when we was in junior high school, you was.
Right.
He said, you was small.
Right.
But he said, fuck it, you was just ugly.
Oh, wow. Wow.
He said, but look at you now.
Wow. Well, he probably remembered when we were reading books as kids, you know, the story about the swan that lady came after the
And that was the second time, but it was addressed to me that way through my father, my mother's brother, which
Right.
is Jimmy, his wife.
Okay.
And this was when I was 18 again. I'm not realizing my shape filled out a
Right.
little bit. At that
Exactly.
point, I had a little Coca-Cola bottle
Yes.
shape then.
Yeah.
And
I remember.
I was so stuck to being where I was at. The
Right,
only person
right,
that brought
right,
me out of that was Mark Rideout.
Okay.
God bless his soul. I miss him so much.
Okay.
And he used to actually force me to look in the mirror at myself, literally stand behind me and
Right.
hold. I couldn't let my eyes connect to the mirror
Right.
or I would cry. I felt so ugly.
Okay.
And in any event, getting back to what I was saying about my uncle's wife, I had to, my grandmother was staying up there with him at the time. So I think I had to take her check or something. And this was the first time him and his wife seen me since I was a teenager.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And when she opened the door, I could say she put it in a nice way other than what Bernard just gonna
Okay,
tell me I'm
okay,
just ugly,
okay.
but look at you now.
Right. Look at you now. Where you been and what you look at now?
She was shocked. And she did the
Right.
same thing, like looking at me like she was looking at some celebrity. And I didn't know how to take that because in my mind, I'm still stuck with
Right.
being ugly.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I'm just looking at her and she like, oh my God, you so beautiful.
Ah, yes.
And she said, I'm not saying because your mom had 5 pretty girls, y'all got long hair.
Right,
She
yeah,
said, and I'm not saying you was ugly,
Right,
but let's
right.
just say aging agrees with you.
Well, let me say this because we're going to conclude. Here's something
Okay.
I'm going to say that's very important.
Okay.
And self-esteem to young children. We have a program which you have always been a part of my program. And I'm just dragging you in it because you always say, man, you always drag me in like that's what goes back to the modeling program. That's
Okay.
why I picked you. And modeling is role modeling. So you were one of the models for that reason. The young women, especially black women, need role models because really modeling is lack of self-esteem. But here's what's interesting. We are bringing this back now. That's why I brought out, Van Stone Digest and now from Radio Magazine. So we're here with Jerry Wilson with his help. We're revamping the program here in the Van Stone Center for Young Girls. We definitely gonna need you to be a part of that. And you were a mentor then.
I love getting into
But
that
when I
kind of
first
work.
brought you in as a model, you were still involved with the youth that I was dealing with anyway, and the little children, getting that right,
Right.
the youth and the children.
Right.
But here's what's going to be stronger. We're going to have a program, which is going to be borrowed as after the Business Academy. I went to University High School and I graduated from Business Academy. So that's where I kept the positive, and it's going to be then this program dealing with Modeling Academy. It's going to be Modeling and Business Academy. Van Stone Modeling and Business Academy.
Okay.
What that's going to be, the youth or the young girls can come right here and they're going to learn about business because the young women need to learn about business and the black young women, and you are a business person as well.
Okay.
So your story and being able to mentor will help them. So stay tuned for that as they look forward for our next show. But also, in our program, we actually have professional counselors and therapists. We're going to add that.
Okay.
And at this time, I don't have to even suggest that to you because you know about counseling and so forth and so on. We'll talk about that next time.
Okay.
Because then you'll start talking and we keep saying we're going to include. Sometimes they need the mental health professionals who can counsel or therapists. You know that, I know that. Jerry
Okay.
knows all about that. We have that at the Van Stone Productions Foundation, where we'll have that available for our youth, our young girls who will learn business at the same time. They'll learn the technology here. That's what we use this here for, to train not just girls but boys and also adults and so forth. So I wanted to.
I love that kind of work.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that in because you opened up that opportunity. And like I said, my thing is I like a happy ending. That's why I brought Jerry over here because I
It
know
was a
his
pleasure
story.
meeting
No,
you
his story's a
today,
happy
Jerry.
ending.
No,
And
I
yours
was
is-
telling him it was a pleasure meeting him.
Yeah, well, both of you guys' stories are happy ending.
Okay.
Because when you start out, look at you now.
Oh.
Look at Jerry now. Next show we come back. What we need to do, let's promise each other.
Okay.
We're gonna go into it. We want to talk a little bit
talk about it.
what we went through.
Let's
Just
talk
a little bit.
about it.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
So that she can continue her part.
So, but what I did want to say is I think it's good that you are involved because it's weird how things go in cycles. The things that you went through as a child, the things that I went through and you went through. There are children and young adults going through the exact same stuff
thing
right now.
And I would love for my story to be an inspiration to them.
It is. That's why it's going to be a training.
I've been molested as a child with my mother boyfriend, so it's a lot to be unpacking, and that's why we have to do this in segments.
Well, when we come back, we'll remember where we left off, and nobody's shy now. We're ready to get into it, and then you can mention those things with the young. See, that's why I'm starting that program again, like I say, with the business part. But here's what's very powerful as well as we conclude. I appreciate you, number one.
Thank you.
Number two, for all those sayers about a young black woman, and then that story, the ugly duckling who comes out to be the swan. This is very important, I think, because history is my favorite subject. That's why most of the followers and viewers, they know when Van Stone talk, hey, it's based on facts. Little do we know that you young women, young girls at that time were reading this story about that, the ugly duckling. You notice the swan was always white, and all the other were black. Right? But the true originator who wrote that story was a black writer, and that the swan was really in the original story black.
Wow.
And if you look up the education and information about the swan, the black swan, this is true, although you have white swans, the black swan is always the lead and most beautiful and nurturing, as you have been, what you're doing leading this situation with your dad and the family. Well, I'm gonna change that word family.
Thank you.
I got it. But you do represent that. And as a young black woman, and now going to a little older, that will even help you, as we think about this situation, that's why you're beautiful, black is beautiful, and you've always represented that. So you were the swan, and that's what it has always been with that particular animal, for black folks and the writer. All right, I'm gonna throw it to you so we can conclude.
All right, so you notice how I got out the way because I was letting y'all cook. I was just letting y'all go, but I did come back just to kind of do the outro. So I do thank you for joining us today, and we will we'll be back, and we're gonna have parts 3.
We're going on 3.
Part 3.
We're going on 3. We don't know how many more parts we'll get to, but because we don't want to rush it. Let's let it, like we did today.
And I think this is good because it's cathartic. For all of us, because we need to get this stuff out. And we were talking before about how important it is for mental health.
Mental health is very important to knowledge
in the black community.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things going on.
Absolutely.
And we don't, prayer does have its place, believe me. But we need to actually sit down and we need to talk about this stuff too and get it out in the open.
Pretty much.
And that way the cycle will not repeat
itself. Yeah.
So thank you for joining us, everybody. And we'll see you in the next show. Goodbye.
All right. Okay. That's it. It's cutting.
It's still on. I gotta shut the thing off.
Great.
I can always cut it later.
How you feeling after your part 2? You did 2 parts today.
It's unloading. It feels relieving.
Okay. So when we come back.